WPBF 25 News Mornings.
Nervous kids, emotional parents, and excited teachers all waking up and getting ready for one thing: the first day of school.
Today's the day. From the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast, our team is in place. We got live team coverage for you all morning long.
We want to get you out the door, on the bus, and in the classroom, ready to start a brand new year. WPBF 25 News Mornings starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. WPBF 25 News Mornings starts now.
Good Monday morning. It is 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Kelly.
And I'm Erin Guy. Thanks for waking up this Monday, August 12th. Kids have probably been dreading this date all summer long, right? Ready or not, it has arrived.
It's finally here. All right, let's get right to Sandra Shaw because she's got school forecast this morning. Sandra?
It's a Monday, and I've been saying it. I hope you're motivated. Yes, motivated, the right word. Start out with a great attitude and carry the momentum forward. And as far as the weather momentum, it's only going to skyrocket temperature-wise. We're going to exceed feeling like 92 degrees outside. Actual temperature highs in the low 90s, but 106 to 108 is what it's going to feel like to your skin. Going to be hard to cool down. Make sure you wear that light clothing. Now you got to wear your uniforms, but just be sure you stay cool and make sure you bring plenty to drink throughout the day. We've got the upper 70s and clear for the bus stop right now. Very, very muggy. The humidity is really the tell here, and it looks like we'll see the late day downpours a likelihood for the bus stop this afternoon, so an umbrella a must as well. Quiet though to start, so we'll take that. As far as our actual temperatures area wide, we've got a lot of consistency in the mid to upper 70s across the board. I've got a track of your tropics coming up, and I've also got more specificity on when we're going to see the heavy rains later on.
Sandra, thank you. Let's get a first alert traffic update. Traffic definitely starting to build, but want to show you a wide look here. If you're waking up, starting your day on the Treasure Coast, all the way from Fort Drum down to Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie into Stewart and Palm City, you can see the Turnpike and 95 checking green this morning. That's what we like to see. Let's go live outside if we can. This is 45th Street, I-95 in Palm Beach County. We're definitely watching the traffic, starting to pick up a little bit, pretty typical. If any incidents pop up, you'll be the first to know. But we do want to get back to that team coverage on this first day of school.
It's going to be a big day for everyone with Keisha Bailey live in Port St. Lucie. But first things first, let's go to Angela Rozier because she's at the school bus depot right there in West Palm, and those buses starting to roll.
Oh, yes, they are. You can see here behind me buses. I'm told they have about 700 bus drivers here in Palm Beach County, and those bus drivers coming in and out, getting in the buses, checking them, making sure everything is right, heading out to the road to pick up those kiddies this morning. But you know what? When you think about back to school, you think about transportation, and you also think about safety. And according to the school district superintendent, Dr. Donna Fenoy, officials here in Palm Beach County are on top of it. Fenoy says the chief of police has hired more than 100 police officers in 12 months, and that means the number of officers here in the Palm Beach County district now stands at about 260. He says there's also national security measures taking place inside the schools.
The 200 projects that our maintenance and plant operations team did this summer, again, phenomenal. So fencing, you're going to see single points of entry. You're going to see complete configuration changes to how cars go in and off of campuses. So this is a lot around that. And then there's the parts that people don't see, which are behind the walls, all the technology upgrades that we're putting in.
And also keeping with that transportation theme, those school bus schedules, routes rolling on our screens right now. For more information, if you have any information about transportation, you can call the call center. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Angela, thank you. We'll be checking back in just a little bit.
All right, let's go now to the school bus depot up in Port St. Lucie. That's where Waukesha Bailey is live this morning. How are things looking there, Waukesha?
Well, as you can hear and see from behind me, the buses are literally rolling out this morning. It's a very exciting day for the first day of school. Now, while the buses are rolling out, we've got the superintendent here, Wayne Jett, who is joining us this morning to talk about all the new security measures that you guys have been working so hard at over the summer.
Yeah, we're excited for the first day. We've got school resource officers for the second year in a row on all of our campuses. We've got 6-foot fencing around our school centers. We've enhanced our video and our camera system, so to speak, and as well as we've added 25 mental health counselors, school counselors, behavior specialists, social workers. So everything's in place to have a very safe, productive year, and we're excited to start.
Now, you've also added technology for parents as well with the Fortify Florida app. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and why that's so important this year?
Well, it's an app that students can alert an adult to something that they hear. We have a little campaign, if you see something, say something. Even if you hear something, say something. And we think it's important. Students are a really good front line of defense, and when they're very good at going and talking to one of their teachers or to the school resource officer to let us know if they're hearing anything that's going on out there.
Perfect. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. I know you've got to get back to school, right?
Yeah, right.
All right. As he said, that's a great app to use. You can download it on your phone. And once again, if you see something, say something. Reporting from St. Lucie County, Waukesha Bailey, WPBF 25 News.
All the technology is a huge help. All right, Waukesha, thank you. Ron Burke continues our team coverage.
He's live in studio with a reminder for everyone this morning, regardless if you have kids heading back to school, because everybody's going to notice all that traffic. Ron?
Yeah, as we see these buses hit the road now, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, for one, posted a video to its Facebook page reminding motorists of their responsibilities now that school buses are back out there on the roads, especially in how to approach a stop school bus with its lights flashing and its stop sign displayed. When driving on a 2-lane roadway, all lanes must stop for stop school buses. On a roadway with more than 2 lanes and with a paved center lane, again, all lanes must stop. Now, if there is a median in the roadway, such as a raised or grass barrier, cars traveling in the opposite direction can proceed, but they should do so with caution, says Sheriff Ken Mascara.
Many students walk to their school bus from homes early in the morning when it is dark, so drive cautiously. There will also be many school buses on our roadway, so remember to give yourself some extra time to get to your destination.
Mascara also says there is no excuse for passing a stopped school bus. All motorists, he says, must be mindful of the presence of more buses and certainly of children out there, whom he refers to as our most precious resource. Reporting live in studio, Ron Burke, WPBF 25 News.
Good information, Ron. Thank you. 5 minutes past the hours, you're waking up. Criminal prosecution cut short.
We're talking about the toll that the news of Jeffrey Epstein's death this weekend is now taking on his accusers.
Plus, Biden blunders. The false statement he made about the Parkland school shooting more than once at a campaign event.
And as far as your forecast goes, we've got the latest and the tropics. What's going on there? We're getting into the heart of hurricane season, so stay tuned. We've got you covered after the break.
All right, real quick, parents, we know you're up this morning. You're snapping those first day of school photos as your kids head out the door. So we want to see them this morning.
You can post those pictures on our WPBF 25 News Facebook page, and we're going to share them in our newscast. And of course, you couldn't miss the opportunity to take a walk down memory lane with our morning team. Do you recognize everyone?
Some of them I do.
I know.
Look at
so
Sandra's
cute.
hairdo. I love that, Sandra.
We have a full gallery at WPBF.com, but please snap those pictures and share them with us. We'd love to see them as you're starting the first day of school. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everybody. It's that time of the day to track the tropics, and I have great news. I mean, there really isn't any news as far as any potential development. So you can see, just to verify, nothing happening in the Gulf or the Caribbean. We have some isolated but scattered storms in the central tropical Atlantic. The tropical development zone is here off of Africa. It's the hot zone, or the hotbed of activity, typically as we enter this point of the hurricane season, but it's meager, and that's thanks to a shield of Saharan dust that continues to infiltrate off the continent. So let's hope that continues.
All right, Sandra, thank you. We hope as well. Well, this morning, the results of the autopsy performed on part-time Palm Beach resident Jeffrey Epstein are now being delayed. New York City prison officials say the accused sex trafficker died by suicide in his cell on Saturday morning. Now, a longtime pathologist says it's not unusual to delay the release of a death certificate while the medical examiner reviews other evidence. But right now, there are several questions surrounding staffing at that high-security jail in Manhattan, and also how Epstein would have been able to get away with even hanging himself. Now, we've also learned that jail guards were supposed to check on Epstein every half hour. But sources say that protocol was not followed in the hours before he was discovered, as guards were working, quote, extreme overtime this weekend. Now, the DOJ and the FBI are both investigating. Well, Epstein's abrupt death cut short the criminal prosecution against him.
And now he will never face his accusers in court. Epstein was awaiting trial in sex trafficking charges. He's accused of sexually assaulting dozens of underage girls in New York and Florida, some as young as 14. A psychologist we spoke to says that the news of his death will bring a wide range of emotions to his accusers.
There's probably going to be your fair share that will be happy and relieved. And then there's the other side that will be, will have not gotten closure. For a good share of them, they're likely going to have some, effects in the long term.
Prosecutors have vowed to continue investigating Epstein's case. 6:11 on your Monday morning, the plastic straw debate is gaining traction for a second time in Stewart.
So we're going to tell you how soon hundreds of businesses could be forced to find an alternative for their customers.
Plus, making history one flip at a time, the one-of-a-kind move Simone Biles landed with ease as she took home her 6th national championship. And guess what? The school buses are heading out on this first day of school. A live look right there as our camera gets set up. But hey, trying to get out of the way because all these buses are leaving the depot in West Palm Beach. We have live team coverage as you're starting your day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We're seeing new images from what appears to be North Korea's 5th round of missile tests in just the past 2 weeks. Now, that country's state news agency says that leader Kim Jong-un guided the test fire of a new weapon over the weekend. This was Saturday. He was reportedly very satisfied with how the launch went. Now, around the very same time, President Donald Trump tweeted that he's looking forward to meeting with Kim in the, quote, not too distant future.
An escaped Tennessee inmate accused of killing a corrections officer is finally back behind bars. Curtis Ray Watson was captured Sunday after 4 days on the run. A homeowner alerted police when he spotted Watson on his Ring doorbell camera going through a refrigerator outside his house. Watson was serving a 15-year sentence for aggravated kidnapping when he escaped.
Well, state investigators are now saying the explosion at a Plantation shopping center last month was caused by an open natural gas valve. They're still working to figure out how that valve, though, was opened. More than a month later, businesses are still closed there. Broward County officials say they're still deciding whether those buildings will have to be knocked down entirely or not. Now, that explosion left 23 people injured, but incredibly, nobody was killed.
Democratic presidential frontrunner Joe Biden facing some heat for making a false statement about the Parkland shooting not once, but twice during a campaign event in Iowa. Biden told reporters that he was vice president when the shooting happened in 2018, when in reality he'd been out of office for more than a year.
I watched what happened when those kids from Parkland came up to see me when I was vice president. They went into the, and some of you covered it. And you watch what happened when they went up on the halls of Congress. Congressmen were basically cowering, not wanting to see them. They did not want to have to face it on camera.
President Biden.
Biden then made the false statement for a second time while he was on the stage at a gun safety town hall. Republicans are speaking out, asking the Democratic candidates to stop assigning blame to anyone but the shooter.
So some of these things that are being said are beyond ridiculous. I know they're running for president and they might not like Donald Trump's views, but stop this ridiculous assessment of blame to somebody other than the person who's responsible.
Trump also tweeting about Biden this weekend, asking, quote, this, does anybody really believe he's mentally fit to be president? We're all playing in a very big and complicated world. Joe doesn't have a clue, end quote. 6:17 on your Monday, concerns are being raised after 3 dogs died within hours of being exposed to blue-green algae.
Now, this happened in North Carolina. The owners say the dogs started seizing. They showed signs of liver failure as well, just minutes after leaving the pond, this pond in North Carolina where they went to play. Now, blue-green algae blooms, they can produce harmful toxins that stop a dog's liver from functioning. Dogs can be exposed simply by drinking it or actually if they lick their wet fur after being in the water.
The deadly Legionnaires outbreak at an Atlanta hotel is now the largest on record in Georgia. The state's health department says 1 person has died and 11 other cases are confirmed right now. There are dozens of others who are also showing symptoms. The hotel is remaining closed throughout at least Wednesday while they clean the entire facility and track down the source of the outbreak.
Massachusetts is seeing its first case of what's known as triple E now in 6 years. The State Department of Public Health saying that a man is in the hospital after likely being exposed to what is known as Eastern equine encephalitis. This all happened earlier this month to him. It's a rare but very serious, even potentially fatal disease that can affect people of all different age groups. Now, last month, you might remember this on our newscast, several Sentinel chickens in Orange County here in Florida tested positive for that illness.
And what do you think about this? One caddy on the PGA Tour can add geese herder to his resume. Why not? Patrick Reed asked his caddy to chase the geese away as they crowded the course so he could take a shot. He didn't clear them all out, but did enough to allow Reed to par the hole.
Do you think he had to audition for the job, chasing some geese around? Is that
I'm telling you, to get
obligation?
A little extra pay, Sandra.
Yeah, that was some good video. All right, 6:18 now, and we have a nice clean sweep on satellite and radar imagery. So you can say Hakuna Matata. It's not going to rain right now, but it will later this afternoon. And so get ready for it. You can prep by taking the umbrella and maybe getting a little head start on the evening commute if possible. At 11 a.m., we might see something around Okeechobee or Fort Pierce. This is our high resolution future track model. It really taps into the amount of moisture that's just kind of sitting latent in the atmosphere. So we could have the potential for some heavier rains between Jupiter, West Palm, Boynton, and Boca. Just a plume of downpour action here at about 4 o'clock onward, which is the typical peak daytime heating, sometime between 3:30. So that's going to ignite the storm. So it makes plausible sense. And it's going to be somewhat heavy, and we'll also see lots of lightning. This is the same trend we've been entrenched in for the last 10 days or so. Higher than normal coverage of the storm action, 70%. So most of us will get wet at some point. Right now, though, we're in the upper 70s and abiding pretty peacefully at 78 in Vero to 79 in Jupiter and West Palm, 76 in Boca and Belle Glade, 92 the actual daytime high. But, don't discount this. The heat index value, it's going to feel to you like between 106 and 108 this afternoon. So that's just shy of advisory status. It's going to be excruciatingly hot due to the immense amount of moisture sitting in the atmosphere. 76 to 78 tonight. The storms will end. It'll be overcast and somewhat muggy. As far as your beach and boating, good stuff here. We have water temperatures up, southwest winds at 10 knots and seas only 2 feet. Low tide is at 12:50 this afternoon. Tracking the tropics, we talked about this earlier, just nothing with any legs right now. So far so good there. We'll continue with the tropical type humidity though across South Florida. Higher than average storm chances as a result the next 2 days and near normal highs, but it'll feel so much hotter than that because of all that humidity. So 70% coverage according to South Florida's most accurate the next 2 days. We're consistently in the lower 90s, but pull away from the storm coverage Wednesday and Thursday and pull away further still by Saturday and Sunday. So I think it's suffice it to say going to be more of a normal sort of weekend with just afternoon rain chances capped at about 30% by the weekend.
Sandra, thank you. Let's get a first alert traffic update. I want to show you some drive times as you're starting your day. Everything looking good. 95 southbound Palmetto Park Road to Hillsborough, only about 4 minutes. Everything checking clear too. Just take a look here. If there were any problems, you would see it right here. Let's go live outside if we can. To Gateway 95, everything checking clear, but of course more and more people on the road on the first day of school. Here's some good news for you. The plunge at the pump continues for a third straight week. We'll take it. According to AAA, drivers across the state will pay an average of $2.44 per gallon, which is down about 8 cents compared to last week. Drivers in Palm Beach County are paying about 10 cents more, but not the highest in the state for a change. That's usually what we see. So
that's nice. We'll take it. Well, the city of Stuart could soon become the very first on the Treasure Coast to ban plastic straws. Remember, earlier this year, the city passed that resolution encouraging people to avoid using any single-use plastics. Well, now they're considering taking that a whole step further. City commissioners invited the nearly 400 different businesses which would be impacted by this change to a workshop, and that's going to happen later on this afternoon. Now, commissioners likely won't vote, though, until next month. And keep in mind, if the ban passes, it wouldn't start until 2021. Well, staying in Stuart, the city is closing the dock and the pier that's right next to City Hall, and this is going to start today. It's going to last a few weeks. Boaters and pedestrians, they won't be able to access that area for the rest of the month as they continue now to replace the downtown Riverwalk there. Now, all the construction is expected to be completely wrapped up by the time we get to November. Well, Palm Beach Gardens resident and tennis great Serena Williams, she had a tough go this weekend at the Rogers Cup.
And unfortunately, she had to retire from the match early because of a back injury. She became visibly emotional after walking off the court. Her opponent came over to comfort her as the crowd cheered. Serena was up 3-1 at the time, but at just 19 years old, her opponent became the first Canadian to win the tournament in 50 years. And what do you think about this? Olympic gymnast Simone Biles took home her 6th U.S. Gymnastics Championship title. She's only the second woman in history to accomplish the feat. The 22-year-old stunned the crowd on Saturday when she stuck a beam dismount, to get this, had never been done before in competition. And then when that was done, she made history again during her floor routine, becoming the first woman to land 2 flips and 3 twists in the air.
That is incredible.
What can't she do?
I know, seriously.
So cool.
All right, of course, today is Monday, August 12th, so it is back to school today. We got live crews in place from the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast.
Coming up, everything you need to know to get your kids out the door safely and on time as they start a brand new school year. Plus, Palm Beach County Superintendent Dr. Donald Fenoy will be live in studio. We're asking him about the year ahead. Vanessa.
And in just a few minutes, I'll be on Facebook Live answering your weather and bus stop questions. Just head over to our WPBF 25 News Facebook page starting at 6:30. We'll be right back.
WPBF 25 News Mornings starts now.
The summer break is now officially over as students from the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast head back to the classrooms today.
We have live team coverage this morning on what you need to know for this very first day of the brand new school year. WPBF 25 News Mornings starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. WPBF 25 News Mornings starts now.
All right, good morning. It is now 6:30. I'm Mark Kelly.
And I'm Erin Guy. Thanks so much for waking up with us. It is Monday, August 12th, the first day of school for students in our area.
We got everything you're going to want to know before you head out the door today. And we start with Sandra because she's got that back to school forecast. Good morning, Sandra.
Good. It is super muggy outside, so get ready to fight it. We've got the upper 70s in Fort Pierce and Palm City. It's 77 in Boynton Beach and Wellington. A lot of consistency area-wide. It, of course, feels, especially as the sun comes up, like the lower 80s. And this afternoon, it's going to feel like well into the triple digits. Note the actual daytime high 90 to 92. Real field conditions 106 to 108. So just short of advisory status. And then we blow up late afternoon with the daily showers and storms, some strong with heavy rains and lots of lightning. This has been the trend we've been entrenched in, literally, with this sort of canopy of moisture that's surrounding South Florida recently. So we're going to see more of the same. Bottom line, I'll have more details and your 7-day forecast in a little bit.
Sandra, thank you. Let's get a first alert traffic update. We have 2 accidents to tell you about here in northern Palm Beach County. The first one, I-95 northbound. This is right near the Indiantown Road exit, so be prepared. But as you can see, indicated on the map, still moving just fine in the area, but move over for first responders. A little bit further south, 95 northbound. This is at Donald Ross, another accident to be aware of. Again, everything's moving smoothly, but you're going to see some flashing lights. Let's go live outside if we can. A little bit further south, 95 Hypoluxo. Definitely more traffic on the roadways on this first day of school. Let's get back to our back to school coverage, and we have team coverage for you. We've got you covered from the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast.
It's a big day for everybody. So let's start with Angela Rozier. She's live in Palm Beach County right there at the school bus depot. And Angela, they are preparing. They are rolling out this morning.
Oh my goodness, look behind me. You can see it's clear. That's a good sign. And joining me for an update on how it's been going so far this morning is the Director of Transportation, Mr. Shane Searchwell. Explain to me, I've been hearing you talking to supervisors. How's it going?
It's going very well. I just got all my calls from all the different facilities. We have 6 of them throughout the county, and all buses are out for, at least for the first tier, so I don't anticipate any trouble in getting into the high schools early. They would progress to do their elementary schools and then onto their middle schools later this morning.
You have a lot of kids to deal with, right?
We transport 60,000 students just about every single day on 657 routes. So this morning was a mammoth task, but we've prepared over the summer, and from what I see here, I think we got it right, at least to start out. We'll continue to monitor throughout the day and hope to keep up the pressure and make sure we get these kids on time to school and get them home later.
And you were telling me one of the, kind of gets uneasy at the afternoon. Tell me why.
That's where it gets a little tricky for the first day, because you have to think these elementary school kids, some of them this is the first time they're going to school. Now when they get there, the parents tell them a lot of time not to speak to strangers. Their bus driver is a stranger to them. So in communicating with those students, if they get on the wrong bus, it takes a little while for us to sort that out. So we ask the public to give us some patience throughout this afternoon until we get it sorted out. We will get it right. Last year we had a few little hiccups. This year, again, moving 60,000 students every day. For the first round, you will get a few little hiccups here and there, but I think we're prepared to handle it this year.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And again, if you watch our screen, we have that bus hotline. If you have any questions about transportation, just call that line or the call center. Reporting live here in West Palm Beach, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Angela, thank you. And our team coverage continues this morning with Waukesha Bailey. She's live in St. Lucie County.
And Waukesha, how are officials getting ready for the first day of school there?
Mark, Aaron, I feel like I'm surrounded by buses. We have buses on this side that are heading out every now and then. Some of them might honk at us. And then on this side, we also have bus drivers that are checking their buses. However, for parents, if you're concerned about your student's bus route, we have an app right here on the phone. It says, "Here comes the bus" app. Now, this app, it allows parents to find out what time their child's bus is going to arrive, if it's going to be late, and even what time it goes to school. But that's not all. Earlier today, I spoke with the superintendent, and he says students can also expect a lot of new changes this upcoming school year when it comes to security.
We've got school resource officers for the second year in a row on all of our campuses. We've got 6-foot fencing around our school centers. We've enhanced our video and our camera system, so to speak, and as well as we've added 25 mental health counselors, school counselors, behavior specialists, social workers. So everything's in place to have a very safe, productive year, and we're excited to start.
Now, if you have any questions about your child's bus, on the screen there's a hotline number that parents can call. It's 772-204-RIDE. And I was just told that one of the bus drivers that has been around the longest, they've worked in this district for 25 years. Always great to see a familiar face, especially on the first day of school. Reporting from St. Lucie County, Waukesha Bailey, WPBF 25 News.
For all that time, they know what they're doing, for sure. All right, Waukesha, thank you. And back to school means more buses on the road. As you see them, they're starting to roll out. So it's a lot more traffic for all of us.
We're already starting to see that. Ron Burke joins us live with a good few reminders on the roadway this morning. Ron.
Important things to know here, guys. Local fire rescue officials are stressing the need to parents to make sure their children are trained to be aware of traffic safety laws, whether they are walking, biking, or riding the bus. The tips include when crossing the street, children should know to look left, then right, then left again. If biking, they should wear a safety helmet. And as children are adjusting to their new routines, well, motorists have a responsibility to adjust as well and be aware of their presence, says Staff Captain Bob Smolacombe of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue.
As you're going by bus stops, as you're going by school zones and everything else, be extra vigilant in looking out for children. Make sure that they are safe, because we want to make sure that the first day of school isn't the last day of school.
An important tip to make sure that is the outcome is to slow down. Fines for speeding in a school zone are here on your screen. They range between $50 and $2,000. And you know what? No warnings are issued. Live in studio, Ron Burke, WPBF 25 News.
All right, Ron, thank you. Time now, 6:36. Now, more questions were made this morning after Palm Beach millionaire Jeffrey Epstein's apparent suicide.
A huge story this morning. The theories being spread right now about his death, including from the commander-in-chief. Plus, keeping your neighborhood safe. The latest city in our area encouraging residents to download the Neighborhoods by Ring app. You're watching WPBF 25 News Mornings. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everybody. So let's just do a quick trek around the tropics. Nothing's really happening right now. We are quiet, but we are entering that busier time of hurricane season. So this is a time when you really want to be on guard. Keep us posted. But the tropical development zone where most of the activity typically happens, especially as we head toward the peak of the season, which is September the 12th, is here. And there's not a lot other than dust, and it's kind of tearing those potential cyclones apart. So far, so good.
Sandra, thank you. A robbery attempt in West Palm Beach ends with both the victim and the suspect injured. Deputies say the suspect stabbed the victim while trying to rob a cell phone store. It was last night right there on Okeechobee Boulevard. Now, they aren't sure, though, how the suspect was injured, but both are expected to be all right.
A Loxahatchee, a woman accused of killing her husband, remains in jail this morning. Over the weekend, a judge denied bond for Marsha Thompson. She was arrested Friday for shooting and killing her husband at their home. Deputies have not said why she did it.
Time now, 6:40 this morning, and a battle at the weekend box office. Maybe you hit the movies this weekend. We're going to tell you about the spinoff holding first place once again and adding quite the total so far all across the country. Let's take a look at the Dow futures as well. So here's the latest right now. We're down 147 points in pre-market trading. The Dow futures dropping triple digits on this Monday morning, pressured by concerns in the ongoing trade wars between Washington and Beijing. Here's where the markets wrapped up last week on Friday. You're getting caught up while you're waking up with WPBF 25 News Mornings. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm here with the Palm Beach County Superintendent, Dr. Donald Fenoy. The first day of school, everyone getting back into that routine. Yes, I know that you've got kids in your house as well, so you're feeling it.
Yes, ma'am.
A big day for the school district. Yeah. What do you want parents and students to know?
I want parents and students to know that today's going to be a great day. I want all of our parents and others just to be patient. You know, there's a lot of new buses on the road. Kids are riding bikes. Kids are walking. And so just to be careful. I want everyone to be careful, but I also want people to have a good time. time. You know, hug each other and be excited about coming back to school.
You've been around the teachers who've been back for a couple days now. How excited are the teachers?
Extremely excited. Thanks to the taxpayers, they're going to get a bump in their check this year, so they're very excited and motivated. And so we've hired over 1,000 new teachers. We have the lowest vacancy rate that we've had in many, many years. So just great things are happening in the school district.
And over the summer, you guys so busy, not only updating safety standards, making changes to buildings, from painting to construction. What are some of the biggest changes that parents and students are going to see?
Well, depending on the school, there are a lot of major work. You know, we reconfigured parking lots, roofs were worked on, a lot of new technology. We have an officer in every school to include the charter schools for the first time. So just a lot of work. Over 500 projects went on in the schools. Over 200 of them got completed. So great work by the entire team this summer.
And talk a little bit about safety. Top of mind, of course, as kids are heading off to school, parents are leaving them, perhaps for the first time as they're heading into school. What have you done safety-wise that you think maybe the #1 thing that you want parents to know this morning?
Well, again, we will have an officer on every campus. I think it's also important. We also have a lot of mental health professionals on every campus. So that's important as a first line of defense in terms of any type of irregularities we may see with student behavior. And so we have a Fortify Florida app that I want people to use. If necessary, if they see something, say something. But at the end of the day, our Chief of Police, Frank Kitzrow, and the team have done an amazing job. All the municipalities and the sheriffs have helped out. So we're in a great place here in Palm Beach County.
And your police department within the district, it's huge. See some new additions to your fleet, but you've got a lot going on.
Absolutely. Frank Kitzrow, Chief Kitzrow, did a great job of hiring over 100 new officers in the 12-month period. That's just a huge feat, and these are high-quality individuals, highly trained. And so, again, I feel comfortable that they're in my schools with my kids.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for getting up early, and I know it's a big day for you, so thanks for stopping by to say hello. We'll check back in with you after the first couple of weeks, see how things are going.
Sounds good.
Dr. Fenoy, thank you so much. All right, Mark, we'll send things back to you.
All right, 6:46 this morning, an autopsy has been completed on Palm Beach millionaire Jeffrey Epstein, but there is still no word on an exact cause of death. Epstein died Saturday in New York in what prison officials said was an apparent suicide. Now, he was in jail awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Epstein was not on suicide watch at the time of his death, even though he was found in his cell just 2 weeks ago with marks on his neck. Meanwhile, his accusers are now outraged. They say that he will not stand trial.
I really wanted justice. I really wanted him to take up for what he did and to be put in jail or prison and have to sit there and think about what it is he exactly did to so many people.
The FBI and the Department of Justice have already launched investigations into Epstein's death. Also, President Donald Trump weighing in and promoting a conspiracy theory that links the Clintons to Epstein's death.
So he shared a tweet and video from a conservative comedian. It claims without evidence that former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton were responsible for Epstein's death. A spokesman for former President Clinton called the conspiracy theory, quote, ridiculous and of course not true, and Donald Trump knows it. A spokesman also said that Clinton acknowledged he did take 4 trips on Epstein's plane in 2002 and 2003, but that Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to.
Well, funerals held over the weekend for several of the victims of the mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio. 9 people were killed last Sunday in Ohio, only hours after another gunman killed more than 20 people in El Paso, Texas. Now, the governor of Ohio says he wants to help move forward by possibly making policy changes.
I told them I was going to do, everything I could to make it safer for people in Ohio. That's my obligation. We have an obligation to do something.
Now, the suspect was killed by police officers soon after he opened fire.
Authorities in Florida say they found a cache of weapons during a traffic stop, and it included an apparent live hand grenade. Deputies say that a driver told them as far as he knew, the grenade was live. Bomb squad was called in to remove it and destroy the grenade. Well, 5 young children, including 4 siblings, now confirmed dead after a fire at a Pennsylvania daycare.
It's just heartbreaking. The victims range in age from as young as 8 months to 7 years old. 4 more were injured, including 2 teenagers who jumped from a 2nd-story window to escape the fire. Now, the homeowner and a neighbor were injured when they tried to enter that burning home to try and rescue the victims.
It just didn't look real. But it was, you're right there, you can feel the heat, you can smell the smoke. And then when those firemen carried out them babies.
Well, authorities say they are now working to figure out what even started that fire. They say there was only one smoke detector in the house as well.
Horrific. Well, the death toll from a typhoon in eastern China rising to 44 people. Look at this. It made landfall early Saturday with wind gusts up to 115 miles per hour. The center of the storm had since traveled north and off the coast. It's China's 9th typhoon of the year. Can you imagine?
That is a lot of water.
All right, let's get a check of your forecast on this first day of school, Sandra.
It's looking so inviting down at the beaches. Some students may be lamenting that, going, oh, I wish I could go to the beach today. It's beautiful. Very, very steamy outside right now. From Delray Beach, where you see a little nice sunrise color, over into Jupiter, West Palm, already feeling like the low 80s, though our actual temperatures, as you can see, are in the upper 70s. We're going to see the storms, as you can see, as well, as soon as maybe 11:30 noon time on the Treasure Coast, couple stronger ones, and then it kind of blows up for sure over Palm Beach County, all the way from Jupiter down into Boca Raton. We're going to see the heavy downpours, lots of rain, and also with all that moisture in the atmosphere, instability. So we'll see lots of lightning strikes as well. Similar pattern to what we've been entrenched in the last several days. Last 10 days have been very wet every afternoon. The coverage is going to be about 70% this afternoon, so you want to make sure you have the umbrella. Here's the upper 70s, as mentioned, on the Treasure Coast, around the lake and along the Turnpike, even up to 79 is as hot as we find from West Palm through Jupiter. This afternoon, 92 degrees. It will feel, though, like 106 plus potentially in spots, and that's because of that vast shield of moisture that's just sort of permeating everything in the atmosphere. We'll also get a little southerly wind flow to sort of exacerbate the problem, so that'll ignite the storms, but it'll also be sweltering out ahead of that as well. 70s tonight, mid-70s at that, really, really muggy and overcast. Beach and boating forecast, we do have a southwest wind flow today at 10 knots. Water temps 85. There's a low risk of rip current. Seas are at 2 feet, and there's just a light chop. Very, very humid, extremely so, as I described it. Higher than average storm chances the next 2 days, but then near normal highs, though it won't feel like it. But as you take a look at South Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast, this is not, anything atypical for this point of August. We're in the wet season. We're in our hottest time of the year. So 92, 91, 92, 92, 92 through the work week's end. And we'll pull back on the storm chances by midweek and pull back a little further still by the weekend. So pretty typical weekend in store, a little more conducive for your outdoor activities, especially late in the afternoons.
Sandra, thank you. Let's get a first alert traffic update. Let's go to the maps really quickly. We're still watching that accident. This is I-95 northbound right after the Donald Ross Road exit, but the green indicating that there are no slowdowns. But make sure you get over for first responders. It could slow traffic down just a little bit, so just be prepared. Let's go live outside if we can. This is I-95 and Woolbright Road. Definitely a lot of people on the road on this first day of school, so expect extra traffic and more kiddos walking to the bus.
Yep, it's building up out there for sure. All right, so Hobbs and Shaw topping the weekend box office.
Oh yeah, the Fast and Furious spinoff brought in $25 million in its second weekend at the top. It beat out a number of debuts, including Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The horror movie opened in second with $20.8 million. Coming in third, Disney's The Lion King remake, $20 million. Well, covering your community, Boynton Beach Police, now the latest agency to team up with the Neighbors app.
And here's why. So if you have one of these Ring doorbell cameras, you may know what we're talking about here. But keep in mind, you could also use this Neighbors app even if you don't have a home surveillance system. It's just simply a new way for residents to notify police about different things going on, possibly crimes in their neighborhood. It also allows officers, though, to send safety alerts straight to residents as well. So kind of a two-way street there for everybody.
Well, time now 6:53. Students from the Palm Beaches to the Treasure Coast heading back to the classrooms.
The buses rolling out this morning. We got a live look from the bus depot in Port St. Lucie. How officials are getting ready for the new school year. We got that story coming up next in your News to Go. 6:56, time for your News to Go. Everything you're going to want to know before you leave the house on this Monday.
Meteorologist Sandra Shaw kicks things off with a look at your most accurate forecast.
Happy back to school, everybody. We're getting you ready to go with your weather to go. Expect that daily round of afternoon storms, pretty significant. The coverage expected to be 70% late day after about 2, 3 o'clock. Could see a little something by the midday. Looks like a quiet bus stop forecast this morning, though, with the upper 70s at the moment.
Let's get a first alert traffic update. Want to show you everyone waking up in Boca Raton. Looks like the Turnpike and 95 from Delray down in through Boca looking good this morning. Let's go live outside a little bit further north. This is PGA and the Turnpike. You can see a lot of people on the roadways, but for the most part, things checking clear.
I'm Angela Rozier here at the Palm Beach County School District Bus Depot, where hundreds of bus drivers just left a few moments to pick up some 60,000 students. If you have any issues, call that bus hotline, 561-357-1110.
I'm Wakeisha Bailey in St. Lucie County, and as you can see, buses are headed out to begin their routes for the first day of school. This year, there's a new app called Here Comes the Bus to help track your child's bus at all times. In addition, buses are also equipped with new cameras and new seat belts.
I'm Ron Burke. Law enforcement officials are stressing safety first and urging motorists to be extra mindful of school buses and students on our roadways beginning today. An important tip they want everyone to know is to slow down. The fines for speeding in a school zone range from $50 to $2,000 and no warnings are issued.
All right, Ron, thank you. All good reminders there. Enjoy your first day of school today. Teachers, parents, kids. It's a big day.
Back to routine.
That always feels good, right? For all the families. All right, we got GMA coming up next. And then, of course, tune back in for WPBF 25 News at 9 o'clock.
Send us those back to school pictures, too.
Yeah, don't forget that, too.
Have a good day.